Hello. All right. Today, I want to talk about the importance of suffering. So, here's the thing, right? It's like everybody's been talking about this thing on TikTok where it's just like hit record, hit record, hit record. And I'm just kind of like, you know what? Let me do that on YouTube because I go very deep into topics and I just feel like apps like Instagram and TikTok aren't the place to do that. So, I'm over here and I'm thinking about suffering, right? Let's start off with the idea of getting hurt. I think the only reason we're able to get hurt as humans is because different people have different needs. Different people have different things that they like and they do not like, right? And until we are hurt when those things are met or not met, we can't fully know that. So, getting hurt is one of the biggest teachers of life because it's in that suffering that we're forced to look at ourselves. We're forced to pay attention to our triggers and pay attention to why. I think one of the biggest disservices you can do is to yourself and to another person is to experience pain that was caused by their actions and to deem them a bad person. I don't think we should do that, right? Because if they were just simply a bad person, I mean, why would you ever interact with them in the first place, right? Why would you actively want to be around a bad person? That's silly. But what I think we can do is understand what they did, why it hurt us, and what we can do going forward about that. Because imagine yourself, right? Imagine me thinking I'm a good person and and maybe I have a friend who really really needs to cuddle with people. But I hate cuddling, right? And so when they cuddle me, I'm like, or they try to cuddle with me, I'm like, hey, can you please get off of me? Imagine how much that would hurt them. But to me, it's just like, yo, back up, man. Like I'm kind of over it. So it's like, I think that's just how life works, and it can be on different scales. It can be on scales of like literally like slapping people. Some people are used to being slapped. Some people are used to physical abuse. But there are other people who are not. And so if you slap them, oh, you're a terrible person. But someone who's used to being slapped, oh, okay. You know? So we just have to understand as humans that we're all raised differently, that we all have different walks of life, that we all have different things that make us who we are. And depending on that, we will get hurt when we interact and become close with other humans. It's just life. That's just what it is. It's suffering. Life is a repeated series of suffering, and I think that's what the blessing of having adults in your life is and having parents in your life is that they have suffered a lot. They have suffered a lot. They've suffered more than you can even fathom. And they don't want you to know that suffering, right? They try to protect you and shield you, which I think is actually a disservice to children because someone who has not suffered is probably one of the most dangerous people on earth. Because in not having suffered, there comes a lot of ignorance. There comes a lot of ignorance to a variety of humans and types of people. And there comes a lack of empathy and sympathy with them. I think that's why rich kids, that's why white people generally, that's why suburban people, that's why just kids who have life handed to them are quite literally some of the most boring and insufferable and invasive and entitled people because they do not know suffering, right? And so any droplet of it, any droplet of discomfort, any droplet of suffering is like, oh, get it away from me. And they fixate on it, they nag on it, they suck on it, they just want to live in it. It's like, ugh, woe is me. Woe is me, I lost a follower. Ugh. Because that's the thing, human nature is to suffer. It's the way that life is. We have to suffer. It is because Human nature is to suffer. Human nature is to evolve and grow. It's the law of life. It's the law of nature. It's the law of the universe to evolve and to grow. And therefore, we must suffer. We must. There's no escaping it. To escape suffering is to die, and is what most people try to do. They try to escape suffering by eating a bag of chips, by getting high, by staying inside all the time, by avoiding social interactions, by watching TV all day. It's escaping suffering, but what they don't know is that innately it causes more suffering, but in a different type of way. It causes, how do you say, it's more than suffering. It's like despair. It causes despair. And when you despair in life, you might as well have given up. Experiencing despair might as well be giving up. And that's why so many people become suicidal, especially in America. Oh my God. Let's actually find out what the suicide rate, what country has the highest suicide rate. Oh, actually, I shouldn't say that. There's probably more. Well, let's find out. I don't want to be stupid. Yeah, I was like, oof. I thought about that more, and I was like, there are countries where people suffer more than here, actually. Okay, so that's silly. That's devastating. I have never even heard of Lesotho. Ooh, okay, so these are a lot of African countries. So, wow, why have I never heard of these countries? Okay, so this is a statistic from 2019 from World Population Review. In 2019, the 10 countries with the highest suicide rates, number of suicides per 100K. Number of suicides per 100K. Oh, okay. 72.4 in Lesotho, 40.3 in Guyana. You know what I should do? I should just start streaming and just spitting wisdom. Because uploading YouTube videos and not talking with people, I feel like I want to talk actively with people. I want to have a chat. You know, I've always been drawn to like streamers who debate. I've always been drawn to streamers who have educational, like progressive conversations. I've always enjoyed that. I would probably do that in the near future. Anyway, back on track. Because I can also sit here and do this for hours. Honestly, I end up recording videos that last for hours. So it's like if I could just do it and not have to worry about editing and all that goodness, it would be really fun. Stop looking at my breast. Sorry. Okay, so Guyana, Eswatini, South Korea, Kiribati, Federated States of Micronesia, Lithuania, Suriname, Russia, South Africa. Isn't it so interesting that I've never heard of these countries. I couldn't even tell you a single time. I mean, the only time I remember ever looking into other countries was in like the 8th grade when, you know, we all have that like assignment to label a map with all the countries. God, the American school system is failing kids. Some crazy kids in my neighborhood. You wonder, like, imagine these countries themselves are unknown. Imagine how unknown the people within them feel. Lesotho is a population of 2.3 million. I don't even know where this is, generally. Oh, it's near South Africa. Oh, it's in South Africa. What? Motherfucker, you telling me Lesotho is a province within South Africa? So it's its own country, but it resides within South Africa. But it's a kingdom. It's a country landlocked. Interesting. I've never heard of that. And there's high HIV and AIDS. Interesting. Sometimes I just get on here to learn things. Why though? Like, what makes living there so difficult? I don't know. Let's find out. What makes Lesotho so difficult? Okay, so natural resources are limited. Diamonds are the only mineral produced. Oh, they're probably getting freaking sucked dry. It's one of the world's poorest countries. It relies on foreign aid and is heavily dependent on South Africa for food and most consumer goods. Wow. I wish you guys could see my screen right now. I should probably become a streamer if I have this much time. Because this is all I do, honestly. I just talk and I let curiosity take me anywhere. I want to be too many things. That's my fucking problem. Games. I do a lot of things. I want to be a lot of things. I have no problem with it. I actually quite love it. It makes life really interesting because I can be around different people in different spaces whenever. It makes life just a never-ending cycle of learning. Wow, so it's not even safe. Wow. That's terrible. That's terrible. It's so crazy to me how living in this country can make you so ignorant. Like, you have to actively choose not to be an ignorant person living in America. Like, you actually have to actively choose not to be ignorant living here. It's like, there's just so much we don't know. There's so much we haven't seen. There's so much we're shielded from. There's so much we're tricked into believing. And it's frustrating. Wow. It used to be illegal to be homosexual there. That's awesome. Wow. Wow. So you shouldn't. It's a very high crime. Like, you can't even walk outside. You can't have your windows down. You can't fucking. Oh my god. Wow. And it's just funny to me how there are so many societies that exist within these countries that are so heavily corrupt. So corrupt. You know, just like, fuck, man. Ugh. I think about the world and sociology and justice and all these things so much. And it's like, it's just infinite thought for me. It's just infinite thought because there's so much to uncover. There's so much to see. There's so much to know. There's so much beyond myself and where I've grown up. And it's like, I just want to know it all. I just want to know it all. It's infinite information, you know, and it's like, it pains me to know that I sit here in my bedroom doing nothing and complain. It literally, I actually feel like a piece of shit a lot of the time because I know I've had such an easy life to the point of the things that were quote unquote not easy for me were technically not a big fucking deal. But because I don't have, and that's why I bring up the thing of suffering, right? The thing of suffering is like, because that's the most I've ever undergone, it feels like everything to me. And to other people, it's like, girl, what the hell are you talking about? You know, that's why spoiled kids have tantrums. Because how dare you say no to me? It's crazy, man. Life, being human, existing, crazy. Crazy, crazy thing. I don't even know. I don't know. Okay. The whole point of this was to figure out what suicide rates are in America. But yeah, I'm shocked. I'm really shocked about those initial suicide rates. Okay, so if we look in fucking Minnesota, or we look in America, like what are the highest suicide rates by state? Illinois has the highest suicide rate. Illinois, where's Illinois? Chicago, Illinois. Okay, that's where Illinois is. I don't know why, but I feel like because Chicago is such a like big city, like in terms of popularity, I always think that Chicago is a state. Like the state of Illinois makes no sense to me. Like what is Illinois? Who and what resides in Illinois? I wish like it's so interesting to do this because I can see my screen, but I know that you guys can't. And so I feel like this is boring because you're not like along the ride with me. Like what even is in Illinois? I don't know. Don't care either. California's number 2, Connecticut number 3, Maryland number 4, Massachusetts number 5, New York number 6, New Jersey number 8, District of Columbia number 9. Interesting indeed. So suicide is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. This chart shows the number of suicide deaths by month and year, including the most recent provisional data available. You can access the full blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually going to look into streaming. I've always been interested in being like a streamer, but like, I knew I didn't want to game, but I forgot that you don't have to game to be a streamer. And since I'm going to be at home a lot more, and I want to make money, I might just do that. That might be a little something we do. We'll see. We'll see into that. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to like make this not boring. But I can't connect my screen. I can't connect my screen to that thing, yeah? I can't do it. I don't know how to do this and I've been going forever. Well, I don't even know why I'm on this tangent anymore. Okay, whole point is we need to suffer. We need to suffer. Suffering is important. Suffering is the only way to grow and learn as a human being. If you don't suffer, there will just always be things you do not understand and cannot see about the world and cannot see about life. And you need to be around people who have suffered. You need to know how people have suffered. You need to know how people have struggled. You need to know. I think it's a silly thing to compare people's struggle and strife. Strife? Yes. In life, I think it's silly to try to compare those things between people because what you do not know, you cannot understand, etc., etc. Yeah, that's it. That's my 2 seconds of wisdom today. I don't know. I'm gonna go eat something.